Dusty Tomes Audiobooks and Spoken Realms present The American Nation, A History, Volume 2, Basis of American History, 1500 to 1900, by Livingston Farrand, Professor of Anthropology, Columbia University. Published by Harper & Brothers, 1904. Read by Joseph Tabler. Editor's Introduction. Having in the first volume of this series discussed the events, the national developments, and the institutions which preceded the colonization of America, the next step is to describe the land and the people of America as they were found by the Europeans. This volume, therefore, is intended once for all to set forth the physical conditions of colonization, for within 25 years after the discovery, the Spaniard began to penetrate into the interior of North America and to encounter the obstacles of rivers and mountains and the sterner opposition of native tribes. The general physiography of North America is familiar enough to readers. Professor Farrand, however, has in his first chapter set forth the conditions which affected the movement of Europeans westward and northwestward from the coast, and in his second chapter on waterways, portages, trails, and mountain passes, he brings out the network of intercommunication used by the Indian tribes and inevitably followed by the advancing white man. The avenues of trade were also the highways of settlement and the theaters of Indian wars, hence the significance of this preliminary description of the routes of travel. The two chapters upon the agricultural products and animal life of North America are also the foundation for many discussions in later volumes of the series, not only because they affected the distribution of the natives and of later settlers, but because they underlie many of our present social and economic problems. The fur trade, the timber supply, the cattle ranges, the areas of profitable cultivation of wheat, corn, cotton, and other staple crops have been throughout the history of the United States elements of immense importance, and Professor Farrand's summary of the scientific conclusions upon these subjects will serve as a basis for later writers in the series. Physical barriers have been easily overcome, but the human barriers were always more resisting. The special feature of this volume is, therefore, an account of the native Indians. This subject, too, which Professor Farrand has given much of his...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?